more from Laura throughout this match, soaking up the atmosphere.
Ready?
Magda Linette to begin proceedings.
And I don't think you think of Linette usually as a big hitter, but I've been really impressed with how much weight she's put on the balls this week, in particular off the backhand side. She's been trying to add more pace to that shot. This is what she's been working on for the last 6 weeks or so in the off-season.
That's a clever shot from Linette, coming in, taking that early ball and putting it away with ease.
Well, Linette, she has a world-class backhand. It is her big shot. She can hit it to either direction, any spot in the court. It's a confident shot for her, and she is starting to get down and behind it and lean on it more.
Forward.
Light second service.
Oh, that just wide off the racket from Pliskova. But a good exchange of shots from the baseline. Good court coverage.
That's terrific ball striking from Pliskova. She has been confident and consistent from the ground. Her movement has been a big improvement. Really worked on that last year during the middle of the season, and it's paid off.
Yeah, great play from Pliskova there, able to redirect the point very easily. And it sets up the first break point.
And you don't often see Pliskova this early on in a match giving the come-ons, the fist pumps towards the box. She's super intense.
Oh, that's brilliant from Pliskova. And an early break from the world number 30.
First game.
And that is Karolina Pliskova's team there. They have to be feeling very comfortable, her getting the early advantage with the early break. Talked about Linette's backhand, or Pliskova, her backhand can go toe-to-toe with anyone's. It is a terrific shot. It is a weapon for her, and we saw early in that game, both players kind of picking on the other's forehand. That is the side to go to that is less lethal. But right now with Pliskova, she is swinging out and hitting the forehand with real precision.
Well, it's the start that the player from Czechoslovakia was after her 10th appearance in this Australian
Karolina
Open.
Pliskova to serve.
Didn't play last year due to a hand injury.
Fault.
And there we see that good backhand from the racket of Magda Linette.
Sometimes you've got to go into the backhand to open up the forehand, and that's going to be the balance that both players try to walk over the course of this match. And that time, Linette getting the last word.
Brilliant serving from Pliskova. It's been good all the way through. 28 aces en route to this quarterfinal, and there's another one right there.
Yeah, she's got a very smooth setup on the serve and allows her to regulate that shot over the course of her matches.
Fault.
Look at the position of the sun. That's always what you look at early in these matches. It's slightly behind a right-hander, Pliskova right now, so that doesn't seem like as much of a factor.
But that's clever play from Magda Linette, forcing Pliskova left and right, making her run.
That's going to be the key for Linette, is to try to open up the court, not allow Pliskova to hit on balance. Pliskova, one of the cleanest ball strikers off both sides, but it's Linette here with break back points.
Fault.
Let. Second service.
And Linette breaks right back to level the terms. 1-all in the opening set.
One game more.
Now that is a terrific game from Linette, pushing aside the disappointment of dropping serve the first game and taking advantage of Pliskova, maybe not quite resetting after her getting that first break.
Well, one of the things Linette did incredibly well against Garcia the other day was returns in play. She made a lot of balls, and it just took a bit more pressure off her own service games, and she was barely broken throughout the match. But it's just having that feeling of finding the form and getting a lot of balls in the return game so that you can go for a bit more on the first serve.
Yeah, a stronger return game means that you don't have to worry. If you do get broken, you feel like you can generate some chances on return, that you can keep yourself in the match. Allows you to play a little more freely on serve.
And that's another good first serve and a good start in the third game. 40-love.
Fault.
So Magda Linette is playing her 7th appearance in the Australian Open. Her best, the deepest she's gone, is the 3rd round. So uncharted territory for the Pole, and holding her own here in the opening set. Pliskova to serve.
Fold.
It's that backhand you talked about, Chandler.
And Pliskova has yet to win a point when she's had to throw in a second serve. That is real pressure that Linette is putting, combined with that shot. First serve for Pliskova is going to be so valuable over the course of the match, and it's not just the pace, but it's going to be about placement as well. That one, nice spin, kind of spinning away from Linette.
Fold.
Let. Second serve.
Well, a good exchange of shots from the baseline, but Pliskova getting the better. So 40-15 for the Czech Republic player.
Fold.
That's a brilliant forehand winner from Karolina Pliskova.
And it gets Karolina Pliskova's coach, Sasha Cain, on his feet. That was an important game for Pliskova to steady herself. Lost 2 games in a row and needed to hold serve. And that winner, very quick through the court.
And we talk about how fast her service action is, but 129 kilometers an hour with the forehand. That's enough to give any opponent a headache.
Now the difference courtside when Pliskova is able to flatten out that forehand, go for a bit of extra pace. There's been certain shots where it feels like it's sitting up a lot and the ball's bouncing high up onto Linette's racket, which she's really enjoying at the moment.
Fold.
Well, that was brilliant from Magda Linette.
30 love.
Yeah, very good at redirecting the point, running Pliskova ragged at the baseline.
And Magda Linette has got a little inspiration in her player box as well. Aga Radwanska watching on.
Fold.
Rod Laver was also part of the one of the captains of the Polish team for the United Cup. And so she has been out here for weeks following, watching these players, also playing a little bit of tennis herself in the Legends.
No better place to be than Australia in January.
I mean, she looks like she could still get out here with these players.
Very clever. And a hold to love. Linette looking very good indeed. The quarterfinal, women's quarterfinal between Karolina Pliskova and Magda Linette. On serve, Pliskova to serve.
That is terrific anticipation from Linette, and you could almost see her relax when she got that backhand right here in the middle of the rally, able to use her left hand to get a little more angle and open up the court. And that little slice drop shot is a shot she was working on in her warm-up, hitting it cross court, that time going up the line.
So good off the backhand from Magda Linette. Pliskova trying to find some answers to that weapon from the Polish player.
Well, that's been the biggest difference for me this tournament for Linette. I think 6 months ago she's playing that shot as a regular rally ball through the middle of the court or back cross court, but she is constantly looking for it these days, especially how she sets up the point with her forehand. It's, you know, how can I turn this around to get back on my backhand side and back on the front foot?
Fault.
Yeah, right now it's Linette who's got more backhand winners than Pliskova.
Let. Second serve.
Fault.
Love 14.
Now this is dangerous territory for Pliskova. Has to save 3 break points. And not able to do that, so Magda Linette is off to a fast start in this opening set. Looking very confident and assured out there, Laura.
Well, so confident, and you just wonder how much of that came from the win against Garcia the other day, because if you can kind of soak up the pace of Garcia, especially off the serve here when she's getting the big returns, she just seems to be playing them back with ease. And I have to think if you can return Garcia's return, then you can get just about anyone's back.
Fault.
Love 15.
Out.
15 all.
Linette has been doing a terrific job. High percentage of first serves in, almost 70% of first serves made, and she's winning a good percentage behind her first serve. Almost 65% of those points won. She's been very effective. She's defended her second serve.
15-13.
That's a good forehand from Pliskova. Linette not able to find an answer to that.
I don't think we expected this stage of the match for Linette to be out-serving Pliskova. She's got a good serve, but that has usually been Pliskova's weapon in terms of leading in aces and fast serving.
Oh, but Magda Linette is doing a beautiful job of moving Pliskova left and right. Pliskova having to play defensively to get into this point.
Yeah, after getting broken her first service game, Linette has just buckled down and elevated her level in that department.
Well, she's just changing the pace so beautifully throughout the point. Some forehands going a little slower where she realizes I need a bit of extra time to recover. And then the next one, she's already back on the baseline looking for it. And that sort of play, for me, it just feels like is taking the rhythm away from Pliskova at the moment. She enjoys that pace coming onto her racket where she can redirect down the line. And because there's that mix of slice and slower forehands, it's just kind of playing on her mind a bit. Where do I go with this? Where do I recover to?
Fold.
Well, great consistency from Magda. Consistent performance from Magda Linette in the opening set of this women's quarterfinals. She leads 5-2, couple of breaks up. Pliskova feeling the heat right now.
Ah. 15 love.
Yeah, Pliskova's got to get a little bit more push here. Try to hold serve, put it back on Linette, and just figure out how she wants to continue to play this match, which adjustments she needs to make, particularly on serve. Start holding serve a little more consistently. You look at Pliskova's fastest serve so far, and it's 178 kilometers per hour. Over the course of the tournament, she's gone as big as 190, but right now seems to be more focused on placement versus speed. Maybe she shifts a little bit in that department going forward.
Well, that first serve there, 179 kilometers an hour. We know that 189 against Zhang, which she dismissed pretty easily in the match beforehand. But we know it's a big weapon, but we're not seeing the fastest serves just yet.
Fold.
14-15.
It's still 2 game points for Pliskova. Crucial hold of serve.
Fold.
40-30.
A wild backhand from Pliskova. Change of racket, Laura?
Yeah, I think she's just gone with a different string tension here, clearly not finding the kind of ball that she wants off that forehand side in particular. So worth a try, just different look.
Well, the new racket doing a good job, and Pliskova holds serve, but it will be Magda Linette who has an opportunity to take the first set, has the break, and is serving now at 5-3.
I always wonder how much of that is mental as well. If you miss a couple of balls and you think, gosh, it can't be me, it has to be something else.
Worth
and
trying.
You see the players switch the racket, all of a sudden they're a new person.
Yeah, you can't very well take yourself out of the match, so the next best thing is the racket. Maybe an article of clothing. Do whatever you need to do.
A big opportunity now for Magda Linette, serving for the first set.
Long.
Crowd here on Rod Laver Arena getting more and more vocal, getting behind their player. Great atmosphere here.
Fault.
Linette forcing Pliskova to feel like she has to hit into smaller and smaller target areas.
That was close, a couple of millimeters, but pressure once again for Pliskova.
Out.
30-15.
It's deep, heavy hitting from Pliskova.
It's a good play as well, working to get the forehand. Pliskova able to hit inside out, and it's more difficult to go up the line with that kind of pace and angle. That ball almost has to curl back into the court. That's good work from Pliskova. Just getting down and battling,
30 all.
working to stay in that rally. Coach Cain trying to maybe catch Pliskova's eye. Give her a little tidbit here. This is an important moment. He's got to be careful, though. He's on the other side of the court, so can't shout out from there.
Oh, what a time to strike from Pliskova, which sets up a break point in her favor. 30 love down, and now on the last 3 points to get right back into this game and into this set.
Coaching is allowed now, but it's usually when players are on the same side. It can't be obtrusive.
Fault.
Deuce.
An opportunity missed for Pliskova, and one saved from the racket of Magda Linette.
So coaches have access to data in the player boxes. See Sasha Bain with his notebook, trying to figure out little things that he can convey to help his player.
Advantage, Linette.
What a huge moment now for Magda Linette. Saved a break point against her and now has a chance to serve for this opening set. Well, marvellous Magda Linette captures the first set 6-3. What an impressive performance from the Polish player. One set away from a place in the semi-final. Uncharted territory for the Pole. She wins the opening set 6-3. Well, ladies.
Decent racket smash just then. I'd give that a solid 4.5 out of 10.
Yep.
Is 4.5 out of 10 solid?
I mean, she didn't fully commit, but she had the mixing of pace and slices.
I watched a bit of both of their warm-ups today, and one of the things Linette was doing was defending the short ball, almost a drop shot, getting up to it on that backhand side and hitting the slice. She hasn't had to play many of those drop shots. Maybe expected Pliskova to throw that shot in a little bit more, but she has sliced beautifully. Sometimes you plan for what you may expect or what you think you're going to expect from an opponent on a given day, and better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. And sometimes you need those plays, sometimes you don't. But Linette, she has been ready for just about everything so far.
30-15.
So important for Pliskova to get off to a good start in the second set. Has to put the hammer down. Out, but only just.
Yeah, it's been very tough for Pliskova to win those baseline rallies, and Linette has been able to extend them over and over. And that takes a toll as a match goes on.
Game, Pliskova.
We'll try that line one more time.
First
Didn't
game,
work, so
second set.
opening service game goes with Pliskova.
It'll be interesting to see how many adjustments Pliskova makes. I mean, that was a good start, holding serve and just getting out on the front foot. Of course, the win predictor has swung the other way from before the match started. Now it's Magda Linette, 69% probability of her winning this encounter, and it's kind of what you would expect with what we have seen from Linette, how she's been able to deal with what's coming from Pliskova's racket.
Well, Laura, who is courtside, was saying she was slightly intimidated by the tattoos from Pliskova, but Magda Linette certainly not intimidated at all about being here on the big stage at the Rod Laver Arena. Her to serve, but already had a set in the bag.
15 love.
I should just say that I was 15 and at the time. I was barely allowed to get my ears pierced.
With pigtails at the time.
Yeah, the serve has been a surprising weapon for Linette. I mean, the number, surprising in terms of the number of free points that she's gotten. And she has continued to flood the service box with balls.
Fault. Fault.
Well, they've just been placed really well in the box. They're not huge serves, but she's mixing things up. And we just didn't see Garcia in the previous match make any adjustment with the return position. I've yet to really see Karolina do that too.
Oh, well played. Magda Linette finding the gap. Good passing shot from the Polish player. One of the best rallies of the match so far.
Yeah, terrific retrieving and anticipation. But after this volley, Pliskova really should have closed, should have moved forward instead of back. Was not in position to cover that shot, which was well placed from Linette. Well, that's a bit of a unicorn, not something you often see. Linette missing that backhand when she's got a line on it, the way she did there. Do we ever see unicorns, I guess? It's not.
My daughter sees them every day. But I like it.
I don't mind it from mine either.
Fault.
But once again, one more shot coming from the racket of Magda Linette. Great consistency from the Polish player. On level terms, 1-1 in the second set, but the first set to Magda Linette. She has an answer for everything, it seems, that Pliskova is throwing at her. What's in the locker?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I would like Pliskova to see Pliskova at least try a little bit more. She did it a couple of times in that first set and was successful. Running and around and getting a forehand, being able to hit it inside out. You know, right now the forehand has been the bigger weapon for Pliskova, and she's hitting a lot of backhands from neutral position in the middle of the court, but that is playing into Linette's strengths. You hit that inside out forehand, you can go either direction, you can disguise it a little more, and inside out to the Linette backhand, it's a little harder to hit straight and true up the line. It takes a little bit of extra work and footwork, and that may not be something Pliskova is as comfortable with consistently over the course of the match, but those are the little adjustments you try to make. She can do it, and those are the little adjustments you try to make depending on what you're getting from your opponent.
It does feel sometimes when Linette's able to get the return deep that Pliskova doesn't want to go back cross-court off her back foot on the forehand. So she's going a lot back down the line to Linette's strength. I think just some adjustments, some extra space around the ball would do her a lot of good.
Game Pliskova.
Well, a very good hold of serve to love from
Pliskova leads
Karolina
2 games to 1.
Pliskova. 2-1 on serve in the second set. First set to
Well, that's terrific.
15
Not much of anything that Pliskova could do with this reply. A good approach. It was just maybe a little too far back, and of course didn't cover the line, but that's nitpicking. What a terrific backhand from Linette.
Fault.
And that's the shot there. I mean, that's a shot that Linette, it's hard for her to read. She can't just run to one side or the other. And that kind of severe angle that you can get with an inside-out forehand can be very difficult to come up with the reply, especially one hit this well.
Fault.
It just seems like Pliskova can afford to go for a bit more on the second serve return. Just take a few more risks, play it a little further away from Linette. There's quite a few that are ending up in that middle third of the court, and that's the one that Linette's expecting, fast to her feet. She's been so compact on the split step after the serve.
That's beautifully played. You know, I also felt like, you know, when you go hard at an opponent on the first ball, they can't quite get geared up yet. But if you hit big shots over and over, then they're in a rhythm. And Linette, she's been able to turn the tables a few of those points. So I think Pliskova does need to step up and just take a few more chances in the early stages of these rallies.
just like that.
13-14.
Working to spread the court there beautifully.
Well, she is down my end of the court. I'm not sure how loud I was talking, but that's exactly what I wanted to see.
It's a good thing we've got you two with us for this match. Okay, break point now. And it's in favor of Pliskova. Oh, how clever. What touch from Magda Linette, saving the break point. We're at deuce.
And that again, that is the play she was working on in her warm-up. Something a little shorter from Pliskova, and she went to the slice, drop shot there. Again, paying off.
Fault.
Well, there's no answer to that.
Advantage
It sets up break
Pliskova.
point for the second time. Pliskova trying to find a way to get back in control of this match.
Yeah.
Oh, and that one wide.
Deuce.
Hitting the line off the racket from Magda Linette. That was a close call. But we're back to deuce for the second time. What we know is Pliskova is certainly not going to make this an easy task for Magda Linette.
Fault.
Advantage Linette.
And so from 2 break points against Magda Linette, now has a chance to hold on to this service game.
Fault. Out.
And that is a very impressive hold of serve from Magda Linette. And Pliskova's got to feel that was an opportunity she should have taken. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Easy words to say in tennis.
Yeah, that is always where you start kicking yourself. Those missed opportunities, it can be difficult to recover and sort of stay in the moment. But that is exactly what Pliskova has to do. She has to at least keep holding serve, give herself more opportunities like that last one.
Fault.
Love 50.
That can be so difficult to keep the positive energy up. Missed opportunities that Pliskova desperately needs. And that first serve series, that was very tame.
Well, what Magda Linette is doing so well throughout this match is maintaining that consistency. There are plenty of good shots you feel still left in her locker, making Pliskova play.
Well, there's really not much movement happening at all off the serve. The willingness to get back behind the baseline to create a bit of extra time for herself is just not there, and she's rushing through these points.
And again, the inside-out forehand does the trick, and sometimes hard to recognize what's going on out there when you're in the thick of it, but at least Pliskova keeping herself in this game.
Out.
And saved 2 break points against her. Still 1 more to come.
And that's been the big weapon for Pliskova, is the forehand. She's got more winners, 7 winners on that forehand side, and just 2 on the backhand. She's got to keep working to get that shot more often.
And the door is open now for Pliskova. Haven't been many unforced errors from Magda Linette, but it's now advantage. Saved 3 break points in this game. It is a battle out there, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call those shots unforced errors, though, from Linette, because all of a sudden Pliskova's just going back cross-court, heavy, deep shots, and just so much more willing to stay in the rally. But that's what she's got to do when her back's up against the wall.
Out.
Sometimes when you're playing against a player who is so steady from both sides, who can hit winners off one side in particular, you've got to upset their rhythm a little bit. You've got to change the tempo, try to take a little control. And the best way to do that is to control the middle of the court from the early stages of a rally. That is what Pliskova is struggling to do right now. Do it consistently.
Advantage, Pliskova.
We've hit the 1 hour mark in this quarterfinal showdown between Pliskova and Magda Linette. And this is one of the longer games as well. Pliskova has saved 3 break points. It's now her advantage.
Game, Pliskova.
It serves out in style. 180 kilometers an hour, that first. Favorite coming into this match is being tested all the way by this Polish player, Magda Linette. Linette to serve.
That was beautifully measured by Linette. Didn't panic, just took her time on that passing shot. Pliskova just a little further back in the court than was ideal, and Linette able to take advantage of that extra space.
Out.
30 long.
That's a clever serve from Magda Linette. Pliskova not able to get a racket on that. Good angle. And that's more like it from Karolina Pliskova. That power. She's the stronger player. She's a more aggressive player, and you're seeing good evidence of that there. Oh, Magda Linette continues to put her foot down.
To your point, Pliskova has more winners. I mean, right now, after that backhand, 1 more winner, but she's got twice as many unforced errors as Linette, and that has been the big difference. Aggression is great, but there has to be a level of consistency with it as well.
And more Polish fans are starting to rise to their feet, getting right behind Magda Linette.
I think for Pliskova, at this stage, you've got to go for it. You've played the match, you've been a little bit on your heels, you've been forced into some difficult positions. Why not take some more chances like this? Hit out on your shots and at least try to dictate and go down swinging.
Out.
15 all.
It's another unforced error that Karolina Pliskova will not want to see on her stats. Got to reduce the errors against an ever-consistent Magda Linette. Too many free points from the racket of Pliskova.
Yeah, a few too many unforced errors. I mean, she missed that last forehand, but I at least like the thought process there, trying to act on the ball. Just didn't get her feet under her.
Well, that was brilliant from Magda Linette, and it brings up 2 break points for the pole.
15-14.
What a backhand cross-court winner.
Fault.
But how about that response from Pliskova? Under intense pressure, that was a good play, Chanda.
Well, Pliskova had to come back from love 40 in her last service game. You'll have to come from behind in this one as well, and that is an excellent start.
Let. For service.
Well, Magda Linette was trying to change it up on the slice. Not able to make its way over the net. So it's 2 break points saved for Pliskova.
Yeah, got lucky there. Linette just pulled off that shot. I feel like too many of Pliskova's serves are going straight into Linette's backhand, and she's missing a lot of the ones going to Linette's forehand. So I think she feels really under pressure on this first serve here.
You can't ask for a better play than that. Perfectly set up pattern by Pliskova. The serve out wide to get a forehand. Just didn't execute.
Break point number 3 now for Magda Linette.
Yes.
And that's a serve that Pliskova has not hit a lot of. The serve down the tee on that ad side, that just barely behind the baseline.
Ooh, that was close. 2 millimeters. And it's a huge weapon of Pliskova's, her serve, and good timing with that as well. Needs everything right now to contain Magda Linette right up against it.
Out.
Pliskova holds serve.
New balls, please.
This is well going to go in a slam. Pliskova, a former world #1, has reached the finals of the US Open and also Wimbledon. Would like to do that again, but it's going to be tough to contain this Polish player who's throwing everything at her. That's a brilliant backhand from Magda Linette.
Yeah, terrific playing, and Linette expecting it, reading the play, and when she got there, she did something with it. She has been impressive, the way she has just kept dealing with whatever she's getting from Pliskova, maintaining that advantage, winning the first set.
Fault.
See, it may be a little ambitious, but that's a shot I would have liked to see Pliskova work to take on the forehand side. It's a little bit to the side, the center of the court, but that's the extra bits that Pliskova can do here now that she's held serve. A little bit of the risk you've got to take at this stage.
You rip out a winner from a defensive position. That is outstanding from Magda Linette.
Yeah, it was a really nice play. I mean, again, Pliskova not closing, not quite as comfortable pushing forward at the net and left all this space open. I mean, the net had to go up the line, but easier said than done to make it in this stage. Impressive stuff from the Polish player again.
Wowzers, holding serve to love. This is close. This is an epic battle in the second set, but Magda Linette is not going anywhere. You know, how's her body language, Laura? She could walk through a wall right now.
It's perfection. She's, at times, to me, looks nervous between the points, but then she steps up to the line and you would never, ever know. And I don't think Pliskova's caught any sort of hint of a vibe from her.
15 love.
And she's just bouncing around before she comes up to return. So if you're looking down the net, you're just seeing all that positive energy at the moment.
And I also think Linette knows that sometimes if she can just get to that extra ball, Pliskova won't have another play on it, and it is motivating her even more. That ball again veering off the court away from Linette, and even with her backhand as good as it is, just tough to deal with.
Out.
14-15.
Well, half as many unforced errors from Magda Linette compared to her opponent, Karolina Pliskova.
Out. Game Pliskova.
It was a relatively straightforward hold of. Well, what a close battle this is proving to be. We hope you're enjoying this wherever you're watching from around the world. Second set going with serve. Magda Linette now serving to stay in the second set. And doing it very nicely indeed.
15 long.
All these moments are pressure moments when you haven't been here before, and Linette just doing a good job playing high percentage tennis, playing to her strengths here down the stretch. Good start here to her service game.
Fault.
15 all.
Well, she's got away with that point, but there's just too many returns going to Linette's backhand side at the moment. And if you're seeing Linette's perhaps a little bit nervous, you've got to keep attacking the forehand, and it draws the errors just like that one.
Well, that's a great serve from Magda Linette. Not the first time she's done that, and using it to maximum effect. It's not fast, just 146 kilometers an hour, but that's not the point. Great direction, good angle.
Out.
40-15.
Just missing that forehand. But Linette, again, just serving very methodically, very thoughtfully about her placement.
Fault.
Out. Game Linette.
And a very assured hold of serve. What a
5 games
tussle
all.
this is proving to be. We're 5 all in the second set. Karolina Pliskova needs to take it up a notch, hey, Laura?
Yeah, she needs a bunch of first serves here, and I just love how Linette came through that game, knowing that she needed a very high percentage first serve. She was mixing it up. How good was that body serve to close out the game?
Low 15.
As the unforced errors proving to be a big difference. 31 from Pliskova so far in this match.
Out.
15
That
all.
serve had just a little more kick on it from Pliskova, driving Linette further back, away from the court.
Better serving from Pliskova in the second set, and she needs it.
Fault.
15-30.
If you've just hit a kick serve as a first serve and it's worked really well, why would you not go for another kick on the second serve? That margin was so small.
A kiss of death from the commentary box from me just then, but 6 double faults now from Pliskova.
Fault. Fault.
Make that 7.
15-14.
Well, this is a huge moment for both players, but it's 2 break points for Magda Linette. Pliskova right now, sandbags on her shoulders.
Game Linette.
Well, Magda Linette has a spring in her step and has the advantage in this quarter-final, serving now for a place in the semi-final of the Australian Open.
Fault.
Well, it's been a very different second
Love
set
15.
from the start, but this is almost the same position Pliskova was in at the end of the first. 5-4, returning. Try to stay in the set this time. It's to stay in the match.
Now.
15 all.
And that was close, but not good enough for fans of Karolina Pliskova. 15 all. Simply brilliant.
13-15.
And the Polish fans are rising to their feet. They're really getting behind Magda Linette. Can't see momentum, but you can certainly feel it out there on the Rod Laver Arena.
Now.
30 all.
Shandy, just look at the body language of Pliskova. Going to have to dig deep. Well, Magda Linette was brilliant at redirecting the point from the baseline. And this brings up match point for the Polish player to book a spot in the semi-final of the Australian Open.
Fault.
The delight. What a moment for Magda Linette. Uncharted territory for the Polish player. Straight sets victory over Karolina Pliskova, 6-3, 7-5. She grew up idolizing Monica Seles, a 9-time Grand Slam champion, and she's playing like her too. What a performance.
This was just so impressive. Her first time getting to this stage at a Grand Slam, and she has kept surpassing her level each and every match.